In the recent analysis videos, I talked a lot about parents in MLP, but there's a kind of relationship I haven't touched on yet, and that's siblings. We see a lot of different sibling dynamics in the show, so it's gonna be hard to narrow down which ones I actually want to talk about. The immediate one that comes to mind is Big Mac and his sisters. They got thrown into adulthood very early, when their parents died, and he and AJ took responsibility to help Granny Smith with the farm as best as they could. And while they might have been causing some trouble at points, it helped them grow up to be reliable workers. All this while the other sister could enjoy a mostly normal youth. Especially Big Mac filled the role of a provider for his siblings, and still feels responsible for it, even working in his sleep. Some might even say overworking himself, but I truly admire it still, even if the interpersonal stuff often falls too short because of it. I mean, they're actually being a brother and not only a provider part, but he also desires it, as seen in episodes like Sister of Social. Applejack is very similar in regards to her work ethics, working herself to the bone, thinking she needs to do everything herself. This feeling of being responsible is also visible with her sister, especially in the episode Some Pony Watching Over Me. She is very overprotective of Apple Bloom, feeling responsible for her well-being, and even if that episode isn't showing AJ's best side, it gives her this motherly urge to care for her siblings. While they are the siblings we see the most of, they aren't the only ones that are important. The second most well-known siblings are Twilight and her brothers. Yeah, you heard me right, brothers. I'm counting Shining Armor and Spike. I know Spike is debatable, if he actually counts as a brother. On one hand, Twilight raised him like a mother, but episodes like Sparkle 7 make the dynamic seem more like siblings. And for the purpose of this video, siblings it is. But that doesn't really matter, to be honest, because regardless of position, Spike just acts like a servant. At least for the most part. He's eager to please whenever Twilight needs him, and it smells an awful lot like child labor. It's not unusual for a little brother to want to help out the older ones, at least in a lot of families. The difference here is that Twilight overuses that devotion. She isn't as bad as Rarity in using him, but still treats him more as a servant than part of a family, but not all the time. They can be wholesome together. Because sometimes, she sees it as it is. He is a baby dragon, still growing. In the moments where she is not overusing his effort to help, they are a great team. Twilight wouldn't be the same without him. Then there's Shining Armor in the mix. He may be around less, but he is an older brother like you would imagine him, especially towards Twilight. The big brother you can depend on. The big brother best friend forever sentiment has to come from somewhere. He has been a very supporting and loving sibling for all time we knew him, with the exception being when he was under Chrysalis' influence. Twilight and Shiny pushed each other to their greatest heights. The best example of that is Sparkle 7. They have always been competing in a non-toxic way, helping each other give their all without becoming jealous of each other. Supportive siblings all the way. Their protectiveness of each other is important as well. We all saw how Twilight reacted when she thought he was gonna marry a mare she never met. Siblings look out for each other. Just try to be reasonable about it, and don't go Twilight nanas. That it worked out for Twilight doesn't mean it will work out for you. An example of a bad brother, yeah, it came down to mostly talking about brothers and not siblings, is Zephyr Breeze, a useless idiot who only leeches off of everyone. I don't think he has ever been a good brother. Fluttershy's reaction to his return to their parents' place implies that he has been doing that over and over, but that's not even the worst of it brother-wise. The worst is when he tries to move in with Flutters. But this brings out Fluttershy's best quality as a sister. She doesn't give up on him. Regardless of how unreasonable and idiotic he has been, she stays and tries her best to help him. Have you seen some of the jobs he failed? That guy is beyond useless. But she stayed with him and trained him, to in the end convince him to try once more. That motivation from your sibling went a long way. I could go into the sisterly relationships that Pinkie and Dashi have now, but those already got their own videos. The only one that's left is Rarity and Sweetie Belle. And in this one, the younger one is once again a problem. She's at her sister's place all the time, like way more than she should be. Rarity is a working member of society, and the kid is a disruption fairly often. I would mostly blame that on her parents. I talked about that in the mom video. But Rarity isn't innocent either. She treats Sweetie Belle in a very disrespectful way. Sweetie Belle likes her older sister and just wants to spend time with her, while Rarity just either completely tries to avoid it or makes it unbearable to watch. Rarity is entitled, and it's one of her worst traits. She really shouldn't act that way with her sister. Even though she is learning throughout the show, she is slowly doing better. The biggest example of that is Sister of Social, where for once, Rarity is the one making the effort. We really have more siblings in MLP than I thought, and I definitely want to talk about more of them. Some may even get their own video. Flim and Flam or the Royal Sisters, for example, deserve it. But I hope you enjoyed this one regardless. Me having less time than before has limited me to this short one. But regardless, I want to know about you. Do you have any siblings? What kind of relationship do you have with them? And are there characters you relate to in that regard? Let me know. Join my Discord if you want to discuss some more. Thanks to my patrons, especially to Maverick. And until next time, fellow Bonies, Bonifellas, and bye.